They're popping up around a number of stores, fake urine and detox kits, over-the-counter products designed to beat workplace drug tests. Some of them claim a 100% success rate or your money back. But just how effective are they, and should they be legal? We'll be discussing that in a minute, but first, Daniel Faitama with the experts the drug cheaters are trying to fool.
One is Herbal Clean, the other Ultra Pure. Products drug users can buy to fool the boss.
If it's a nothing job, then why not?
And if one of my employees is contributing by taking drugs, I need to know about that.
This fancy box detox kit, flavoured strawberry and mango, can be used to flush the drug out of your system.
Herbal diuretics, which make you urinate more. So you're producing more urine, you're taking in lots of water, and they're trying to reduce the levels of drugs in the urine sample.
More than 35,000 samples are tested every year by Dr Paul Fitzmaurice and his small team at this ESR lab.
Anecdotally, they work when the levels of the drugs are quite low and at a sort of a marginal level, but for the vast majority of drug levels in drug user urine, they're quite ineffective.
He says there are three ways people try to cheat a drug test. The first is adding substances such as bleach. Secondly, adding diuretics to dilute the specimen. And thirdly, this product, synthetic urine. It even comes with a heat pad.
And obviously one of the things that we immediately identified, because we had come across that product before, is one, it doesn't smell like real urine. So if there was suspicion that it wasn't real urine, then there are further tests that we could do to really identify whether it was synthetic or real.
But they say it should be prevented and sorted at the collection stage.
They're really only cheating themselves.
There are people out there who don't do it and who really do take their job seriously, and there's just other people who are just taking the piss, really.
Would it be okay to lie on a test?
No, be honest.
With the detox products or the dilute urine, one of the major indicators is the actual concentration of the urine, and there's actually a specific test for the concentration of the urine itself.
And the verdict from the experts, in most cases the best outcome for cheaters is you're going to be retested.
The vast majority of them would be a waste of money, and certainly the guarantees that come with them, are a pretty fake, guaranteeing that, if they don't work, then the consequences is you failed a drug test, but yet you can get your money back for the product that you bought.
Joining me now, Chris Fowlie, one of the mainstays of Normal and owner of the Hemp Store, a shop selling these products, and Nick McLeay, spokesperson for the Drug Detection Agency. That's a private company that specialises in workplace drug testing. Chris Fowlie, couldn't you be putting people's lives at risk by selling this stuff?
No, I don't think so, because let's be honest here, urine testing does not measure impairment. It merely picks up past metabolites that can remain for months. Now, if this was about safety, they could look for THC, which is in the system while someone is high, but they don't. They look for the metabolite, which sticks around for ages and is inactive.
But if you're working in a freezing works or forestry, a dangerous occupation, if you're compromising the tests, you're not going to pick up the people who may be at risk.
There are better ways of measuring that than urine testing. There was actually a literature review published in the journal Addiction early this year. It found that urine testing did not identify workers who were safety risks. The only cannabis users who were at risk were the people who used on the job. That urine testing did not find those people, and that there was no relationship between drug testing and rates of workplace accidents.
Nick McLeay, do you need to get some advice of Chris how to do better testing?
Well, I think Chris needs to read some other literature, to be quite honest there, because workplace drug testing does work, and it is a safety tool, and as Chris points out, we're not looking for impairment. We're looking to identify those at risk of being impaired at work, and therefore identifying a potential hazard there, so the employer can then take action as they're required to do under the Health and Safety Act.
OK, now irrespective of whether you should be testing or not, these products that they can get through Chris's stores, are they compromising your tests?
Some are, but we like to think that we've got procedures in place which will catch people who are using them. Dr. Paul Fitzmaurice there, he says there are tests there to, especially in relation to those detox agents. Our tests check for that, and we catch a lot because the tests do come back as being dilute.
So if you pick up something, you have to do the test again. Are you promising more than you can deliver, Chris Fowlie?
No, not at all. We do promise a money-back guarantee. These products are expensive, and over the 10 years of selling it, we have over a 99.9% pass rate. With the urine, it's a 100% pass rate. His methods, he uses a screen first that doesn't meet the New Zealand standard because they're unreliable. Then they send them to ESR, the government testing lab, who, even if your cannabinoid levels are at the level below the standard, like where it could be secondhand smoke, they'll tell the employer it's present, and for most workers, they get fired.
But you don't agree with testing, do you? You don't think you think it's a civil right?
If testing picked up impairment, we would agree with it, and that's why I was saying about THC. If they actually looked for THC, we would agree with that. But they don't.
Who are the main people you're testing?
The main people we're testing are people in roles where safety is critical. So we're talking transport industry, manufacturing, construction, forestry. And forestry is a good example of where drug testing has worked, and random drug testing.
OK, say, for instance, you do a test and it comes back and they say, look, we think this is doctored or we think there's been something put into it. You've got to call them back in again, don't you?
We invalidate that test.
So
we ask them for another sample, and I tell you what, most of them who I've dealt with personally will go, sorry, mister, I failed test, I'm not going to provide another sample. And that ends there.
Chris, what is synthetic urine?
Well, what is urine? I mean, basically it's salty water with a bit of urea and you know, not a hell of a lot else in it.
And you believe it can fool the scientists?
We know it can because we've got a 100% pass rate for it. So one of the tests that he was talking about is specific gravity. This is easy to replicate. There's even salts that you add in to replicate the fertilisers that are put on our farms here that end up in our water, and they're unique to New Zealand.
Look, we've seen in cycling, haven't we? I mean, the lengths that science can do to cheat tests, in those cases, the EPOs and various other things. How do you know there aren't things out there that are getting past your testing right now?
Look, we can't give a 100% guarantee, OK? But a lot of these products come down to the people who are using them. And I've caught people using those synthetic urine products where they've dropped the lids. It's different. When you're collecting urine...
You've caught them through demanding to watch them urinate, and it's demeaning. We've had many reports of customers in your trucks with your franchised former cops going around intimidating people and demanding to watch them pee and look at their genitals. It's demeaning.
Do not do observed collections, Chris.
All right.
Well,
sorry, guys.
Maybe all these guys are making
we have run out of time. I would suggest that you two get together, but if he says he can provide you a more effective test, you're no doubt looking for one. Maybe between the two of you we can come up with something. We thank you for your time tonight.